Fractal Noise is a science fiction first contact novel written by Christopher Paolini and published in 2023. Paolini is best known for his best-selling fantasy series The Inheritance Cycle, and recently made his debut into science fiction with To Sleep in a Sea of Stars in 2020. That book was the first in a series of connected sci-fi books that Paolini has dubbed the Fractalverse. Fractal Noise is a prequel to that book and takes place over 20 years before the events of To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. The story of Fractal Noise follows Alex Crichton, a xenobiologist aboard the starship Adamora, who has set off into space in search of a new beginning after tragedy strikes his life. When the Adamora discovers a signal that marks the first definitive evidence of extraterrestrial life, Alex and his companions embark on a harrowing expedition to find the source of the signal and learn its origin. Just like with To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, I listened to the audio version of this book, which was once again narrated by acclaimed voice actress Jennifer Hale, best known for her work in video games such as Mass Effect and Overwatch. I read To Sleep in a Sea of Stars for the first time last year, and overall I thought the book was decent. More so than the story itself, I was intrigued by the universe that Paolini established in that first book. So going into Fractal Noise, I was interested to see the direction he would take with the world building for this new sci-fi universe. With all of that said, here are my thoughts on Fractal Noise. Starting off with the positives, I have to say that I liked this book more than To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, and beyond that, this is my favorite book that Paolini has written so far. Here's why. Firstly, the premise of the book is very intriguing. Most first contact stories deal either with aliens coming to Earth or humans uncovering an alien civilization on another planet. However, this book focuses more on the expedition of getting to the alien artifact, rather than dealing with the artifact itself. The way the expedition is described feels very reminiscent of the South Pole expeditions conducted in the early 1900s. On these expeditions, explorers trekked across mile after mile of open country while pulling sledges and enduring harsh conditions. In that way, the book leans heavily into hard science fiction, and everything that takes place in the book seems realistic to what an expedition on an alien world would look like in real life. Secondly, the nature of the expedition allows this to be a very character-focused story, even more so than To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. It allows the characters breathing room to become fully formed individuals in the eyes of the reader. Each of them have their own unique set of ideals and philosophies that drive them to want to discover more about the universe. The book does not shy away from wrestling with the philosophical and religious implications of first contact. It has the characters actively debate what the existence of alien life means for religion as well as humanity's place in the universe. The book discusses these ideas in a way that doesn't feel heavy-handed, and it leaves room for the reader to wrestle with their own beliefs on the matter. While all of the characters are solid, it is the main protagonist, Alex Crichton, who is the standout. His personal journey of overcoming past grief and moving forward with his life is powerful and offers a spark of hope in an otherwise bleak story. Thirdly, the book builds tension incredibly well. Paolini says that his inspiration for the book was a nightmare that he had about a group of explorers trying to reach a massive hole that is constantly pulsing with a foreboding thud sound. That nightmarish quality is conveyed very well in the book, as the constant pulsing of the alien signal interrupts the thoughts of the characters as well as those of the reader. It acts as a foreboding and constant reminder of the threat that the characters are facing. it is also emblematic of the rising tension between the characters on the expedition. Finally, this tension comes to a head in an explosive climax which had me on the edge of my seat. Without spoiling anything, the climax had me gripped the whole time, as it really felt like any of the characters could die. This climax is immediately followed by a dramatic conclusion that perfectly fits the themes of the story and the personal journey that the protagonist underwent over the course of the narrative. Suffice it to say, this conclusion affected me emotionally in a way that I was not expecting. As someone who has also dealt with grief and depression, it was very comforting to read a book with such a mature understanding of a very heavy and personal subject. It is easily the best moment in the story. In terms of the negatives, it is important to note for anyone going into this book that it is a slow burn. It is not action heavy, but instead focuses on the characters, their relationships, and their various internal struggles. This isn't inherently negative. However, at times it can feel like the narrative is spinning its wheels, as some of the conversations the characters have can be a bit repetitive. As a result, the pacing suffers. There is also not a ton of variety in terms of the kinds of conflicts and obstacles that the characters encounter. While the book feels realistic in terms of the monotony of the journey, it would have been nice if there were a couple more strange, otherworldly encounters that the crew could have had along their journey. While these issues did drag the book down a little bit for me, I still read through it fairly quickly, and none of it was enough to ruin the story for me. In conclusion, Fractal Noise is a somber yet hopeful story with a creative twist on the typical First Contact story. It has issues with its pacing and lack of variety, but it is anchored by a strong emotional core and a powerful message about overcoming grief. The final pages of this book are beautiful and even manage to strike an emotional chord with me. Therefore, I'm giving Fractal Noise 4 out of 5 stars. It is my favorite novel in the Fractalverse and easily my favorite Paolini book so far. I am eager to see what Paolini does next with the Fractalverse moving forward and will be eagerly anticipating his next release. I hope you all have enjoyed this review. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed the video, and comment down below on your own thoughts on Fractal Noise, as well as what books you would like me to cover in the future. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.